welcome back to Ferro Ironing Customs. I'm Michael. I hope everyone is having a great week. It's a new day, and we're going to try to get into making these upper bag mounts on my 1950 F1 Ford rat rod project. If this is the first time y'all are here, I've got a 272Y block with a T5, and this is bagged 9-inch forward and bagged all the way around. Last week we started on the hairpins, and we're about 85% done with them. We've got a little more work to do, but I'm waiting on some parts to come in the mail for that. This week what we're doing is getting the upper bag mounts made, and I'm kind of going on a design that I saw Village Customs do on one of their trucks. Those guys are local to us. I think they're in Clayton, if I'm not greatly mistaken, which is not that far from where I'm at right now. I've never been to their place. I'd love to get down and see them at some point. It's kind of an idea off of one of the vehicles from several years ago that he built. I've been looking at for a while. So what we're going to do is we've got a piece of 4.5-inch pipe. That's going to be the upper bag mount. We've got to cut out a piece of plate to go on that upper bag mount. On the bottom of it, drill it for those 2,600 bags, and then we're going to use tubing to connect that upper mount to the chassis of the truck. So we're going to get after it. Alright guys, what y'all saw me cut this out with was actually the bottom out of a coffee can. And it gave me just a little lip. I'm going to have to grind a little more out. We got to clean up the dross anyway. This was pretty thick. It was 1/4 inch. And I think we may need to change the tip. But I'm going to cool these down, and then we're going to come back and grind them up and get ready to drill some holes. Guys, it's been a couple of days. Well, it's been more than a couple of days. The last day I worked out here was on Saturday. No, let me take that back. I did come out here for about an hour on Sunday. I didn't do any recording. Let's see, where did I leave off on the video? We were making these. I ground them up, got them made, got them drilled and ready to go on the car or on the truck. And I made a 3-inch, I took a piece of 2x3 and made a spacer for where my bag's going to go. And how that works, the bottom bolt bolts into where the bottom of the bag goes, and the top 2 bolts bolt to the top cup. And I measured the bags, fully collapsed, and they're somewhere around 3 1/4 with 2 clamps on them was all I could get out of them. They're supposed to be 2.8 collapse, I believe. I even went back and looked at the seller's advertisement, and they were listed as 2.8. So I went ahead and I've got one side set up, and I put the 3-inch spacer I made, and then on the top I put another 1/2 inch, so I have 3.5 inches. So that should give me a 1/4 inch of up travel. Probably could have stood a 1/2, but you know, it is what it is. All right, that's where we're at. What I did on Sunday was I cut out some templates. I'm going to actually plate inside these sections with some speed holes to give some added strength. I was going to do a 3rd arm off of here, but I don't think I'm going to need it. I am going to run a strut from this tower to this tower when I get the other side built, and you know, we'll go from there. I think it's going to turn out pretty good. It actually, to me, it looks really good. I did have the grill in there for a little bit. I may do something different. I may not use the Model A grill. We're going to see when we get that far along. So what I want to do is show you how I got to this point. I'm going to throw it on time lapse. But before we get to that, I'll show you these guys right here. These came in. I had posted these on my Facebook page the other day. That's what I'm going to use for the end part of the wishbone. Anybody that follows my channel that's into blacksmithing will very well probably know what they are. I posted it on my Facebook page and asked that question, and I don't think anybody, if they knew, they didn't give it away that they knew. And probably only one of my really good friends has passed away about a year ago now. Would have probably been one of the only people that probably would have known what they are. So this is a J-clip for a railroad, and what it does is you have your railroad track comes down as an I-beam, and the bottom web, this catches on one side and locks on the other side, and it lays against the cross tie, and you will have one on this side and one on this side. And what it's supposed to do is prevent the rail from moving laterally whenever, you know, the train's moving, or during hot and cold weather expansion or braking or whatever. So it's a railroad clip. I just out of nowhere had that idea. I was like, that's what I want to use. So I ordered a couple of them. Actually, I ordered 6, and they were like $4 a piece. I can't complain about that. I'll use those couple for this. I'll stick the others in there. This is a medium carbon steel. It is either 0.4 or 0.6% carbon, which puts it in approximately the same range as a leaf spring. So this would make a good, you could make a good chopper out of this, or anything that you would use 5160. It has very similar properties to 5160. All right, guys, the other camera died. I don't know how much of that time lapse recorded. So I don't know how much of that y'all saw. The one on the front, when I bent the first one, I made the first bend. Then I moved it a little bit, bent it some more, and moved it a little bit. That bender just does not have the capability that a tubing bender would. And I don't know if y'all saw, like I said, I won't know until I watch the video. I just kept going back from the grinder to the truck, taking little bits off until I got it to where it was. They're pretty close one side to the other. It looks good from here. It looks good from the front. I'd really love to get it outside to see what it looks like. But right now, I'm going to let that cool, that cup cool. I don't want to put the bag in it until that cup cools down. So I don't know if I'm going to do that later on this afternoon or whether I'll do it tomorrow afternoon and finish up this video, because I do want to get it to lift. I'm going to have to bring my floor jack in here and lift up the chassis and finish welding the front frame before. I don't know, maybe I will lift the, nah, don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. I want to lift the front frame so I can completely weld that front, because it's only about 75% welded. So I'd hate for it to break. All right, guys, let's tear it up and see how we did. I've already put about, I didn't see how much PSI I put in the back. It's just enough to get it about 4 inches off the ground. We got a bad leak somewhere. That's about 40 PSI. About 50 PSI. That's way higher than it's ever going to be. That should be approximately ride height right there. It's going to need some shocks on it. I don't like how it lifted up. I probably needed to have canned the bag cups just a little more. Naturally, the air compressor had to come cut on. Guys, that's where I'm going to leave it this week. So next week, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to make these pieces right here, or whether I'm going to start doing something else. But we'll get into something.